Hey guys, it's Arissa. Welcome back to my channel. It is time for the ULTA 21 Days of Beauty promotion. It just started, and so I wanted to come up with my top 10 picks, and it wasn't very hard to do so. There weren't a lot of things in this promotion that I was particularly drawn to, but there are definitely some holy grail items in here, so it was pretty easy for me to come up with my top 10. It's a combination of holy grail items that I absolutely love and some things that I haven't tried yet, but I am interested in. So for this sale, they come up with about 3 products a day that are available for 50% off retail price for 1 day only. So for today, September 2nd, my pick is the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. You guys know I love this primer. I have oily skin, but this isn't too moisturizing for me. If anything, I think my dehydrated, oily skin really needs the nourishing primer. I've been using this one now for about 2.5, 3 years, and I've been repurchasing it over and over again. So it's usually $34 and now it's $17. So if you got your hands on it, great. If you still have a little bit of time, depending on when I get this video up, I apologize, it's not like first thing in the morning, but if you were able to get this or can still get this, I highly recommend the Hangover Primer. My next pick is for September 4th, and it is the BECCA Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid Highlighter. I have not tried these before, but I think this is a good opportunity to get a great deal on it. It's usually $41, and for this particular day, it is $20.50. It describes it as a luminous highlighter that casts a dewy, natural glow with fine, light perfecting pearls. I've heard so many good things about this across YouTube. You could apply this directly to your cheekbones as a liquid highlighter. I've seen people mix it in with their foundations to get an all-over luminous glow. There are so many ways to use this. I've also heard that it's so subtle or so natural looking that it's like you're glowing from within. So I think this would be a good opportunity for me and for you if you haven't tried it yet either, or if you want to repurchase the item because you already love it. Pick number 3 is for September 5th, and this is an old school favorite of mine that I no longer have, so it might be a good time for me to repurchase. I don't know. I don't really need it, but it is one of my favorites from back in the day, and it's the Benefit Hoola Matte Bronzing Powder. You could also get the Hoola Lite that they have now. So Hoola and Hoola Lite are both 50% off on September 5th, and the retail price on this is $30 and you will get it for $15. A few years ago, this bronzer was the talk of YouTube. Everyone had the Hoola bronzer, everyone raved about it. They loved it to bronze, sometimes to even contour, because it was a pretty good neutral bronzing shade. And I loved it as well, but of course over time there's so many new things that come out. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and the Too Faced bronzer, the Sweet Tea bronzer that I really like, and so many others have come out that I haven't really thought to repurchase it. But 15% off is a really good deal if you'd like. For September 6th, my pick is the Beauty Blender Solid. And this is the cleanser that I love to use for my makeup sponges and my makeup brushes. It's usually $16 just for this little bar of soap, which is pretty extreme, but it's such a good little bar of soap, and you'll get it for $8 on September 6th. This is hands down the best cleanser that I've ever purchased, and that is why, even though it's a little bit more expensive than others, I highly recommend this, and it's the best way for me to really deep clean my makeup brushes. So this is a good opportunity to stock up. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer on September 8th is 50% off, and it's usually $23. On that day, it's gonna be $11.50. This is the brow pencil that I always have in my makeup bag in my handbags, not because it's my favorite of all time, but it just happens to be the one that I always carry around with me. And then the e.l.f. brow pencil that I love is the one that I always keep on my vanity. So if you like to just fill in your eyebrows really quickly, the triangle shape is really nice because it covers a lot of surface compared to the really skinny pencils. I like the skinny pencil, so it's just about personal preference. But I also really like the e.l.f. brow pencil. That's, I think, $3. But if you want to try this, or if you want to stock up on it because this is your favorite pencil, that is going to be the day, September 8th. Here's another product that I have not tried yet, but this would be a good opportunity. It is the Dose of Colors Matte Liquid Lipstick on September 14. So usually it is $18 and on September 14 it will be $9. That's pretty good. It's a cult status lipstick that kisses lips with long-wearing, highly pigmented color. I've heard such good things about Dose of Colors matte liquid lipsticks, especially if you are a matte liquid lipstick wearer. I prefer a cream bullet style lipstick, but I am still curious about maybe trying one of these, particularly the shade here on the left. So this is something that I might keep my eye on, and it's on September 14. All right guys, when I saw this next one, I was so pumped. September 15. This right here, the Mario Badescu Vitamin C Serum is 50% off. I have raved about this in my favorites video. It is a true game changer for me with my skincare. And September 15, it's going to be 50% off, which means it's gonna go from $45 to $22.50. It really brightens the skin. It helps with my acne. I have been getting some acne recently because of stress. And so I know that this has really helped me make sure that my skin clears up a little bit faster than if I were to maybe put something a little bit more harsh on it, like a benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid treatment. So with this one, I put it on at the end of my day. Even in the morning before I put on some makeup, I will put a light layer in certain areas where I tend to break out. And it has been a true game changer. I absolutely recommend this. If you've been interested in potentially getting something new for your skincare and you haven't tried vitamin C yet, I highly recommend it. Definitely look into it a little bit more and find people who have similar skin issues and similar skin types as you and see what they're saying about it, because everyone's skin is different. They may react differently to this, but for me, I do love this, and I have sensitive, acne-prone, oily skin. September 16, another old school favorite of mine that I no longer have. It is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. It is the original chocolate bar palette. Usually it is $49 and it's going to be $24.50 only on September 16. This is a really great standard palette to have. I love that there's a pop of purple in here, but everything else is very workable and very work appropriate. And it has 16 matte shades plus shimmer shades, and it's infused with cocoa powder, so of course it does smell like chocolate. And I think it's just a classic, great eyeshadow palette to have. This is a really good gift for someone if you know that that person doesn't have the chocolate bar palette. I think this is a great time to get it, 50% off. On September 17, a primer that I used to love years ago and talk about all the time is 50% off. If you guys remember, if you watched me back then, it is the BECCA Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. It's usually $38 and on this day it's gonna be $19. I used to rave about that primer because I do have oily skin and it really, truly mattifies the skin. But like I said, over time, I did transition into a nourishing, moisturizing primer, that Too Faced Hangover. So it's a matter of preference. And you know, you don't have to just use one primer. So this is something I did consider, maybe getting the Too Faced Hangover or using the Too Faced Hangover all over the face to moisturize, and then really targeting the BECCA primer in certain areas where I'm especially oily. And that way you don't feel like that's the only primer you can use and your rest of the face is a little bit too dry because of it. So yeah, that's something to consider. Maybe mix and match your primers, and if you have certain oily areas or extra oily areas that you would like to target with this, I do recommend this primer. I really enjoyed it. I repurchased it before back in the day and I have no complaints about it. It's just that over time I wanted to get into something a little bit more moisturizing. My final pick is also a primer, and it's the Benefit POREfessional. It is gonna be 50% off on September 21st. So usually it is $32 and on this day it's going to be $16. For this one, it says that you can get the lush airbrushed effect of blurred pores and fine lines for a flawless finish. So with this one for me, it does smooth the skin a lot more than if you were not to use a primer. So in that sense, I like this and I have repurchased it. But I wouldn't say that my pores disappear because of it. You know, I have rather enlarged pores, especially in this zone right here, and it doesn't completely blur it all out. but I still like this because it doesn't break me out, and a lot of things do break out my sensitive skin. And overall, I think it does help smooth out the skin, and it just feels nice when you're applying it. So overall, I think this is a good primer, and that's why I wanted to include it in my top 10. And if you are a big fan of the Benefit POREfessional, I wanted to let you guys know that it is going to be 50% off a part of this promotion. Alright guys, that is it for my top 10. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want any more information on all the other products that are available in this promotion, I will link it below so you can see everything, because of course I only talked about a very small percentage of what's going to be on sale. If you guys have your own picks too, I'd love to hear what you guys are looking forward to buying. And I think that's it. I'm gonna have to edit this really quick, and then I'm off to go hang out with some friends for Labor Day weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys again in my next upload. Have a good one. Bye.